You think math is something humans made up, a tool, a language we invented to count sheep, split the bill, figure out how much grain fits in a silo. Fine, I'll accept that. But then you need to explain something to me. Why does the universe follow our made-up rules? Think about what I'm asking. Humans sat in rooms. They scribbled symbols on paper. They played with abstractions that had nothing to do with the physical world. And then, centuries later, physicists discover that those abstractions describe reality perfectly. Not approximately, perfectly. Let me give you an example that should keep you up at night. Paul Dirac writes an equation combining quantum mechanics with special relativity. He's just doing math, playing with symbols. But the equation has a problem. It demands a particle that doesn't exist. A particle with the same mass as an electron, but opposite charge. Dirac didn't want this particle. He tried to get rid of it. But the math insisted. The equation wouldn't work without it. 4 years later, Carl Anderson is studying cosmic rays. He finds a particle with the same mass as an electron, but opposite charge, the positron, antimatter. Exactly what Dirac's equation demanded. Stop and think about that. Dirac didn't discover antimatter. The math did. He wrote symbols on paper, and those symbols have scenes that all comes down. He takes a keep and other symbols, mothers. Told him something about reality that no one had ever observed, and then reality confirmed it. If math is just a human invention, this shouldn't happen. If I invent a game, chess, Monopoly, whatever, reality doesn't rearrange itself to follow my rules. But mathematical rules? The universe bends to them. Every single time. That's not normal. That's not expected. That's a scandal hiding in plain sight. You might think Dirac was a fluke. Lucky guess. Let me show you it's not. James Clerk Maxwell, 1865. He writes 4 equations describing electricity and magnetism. Beautiful equations, elegant. But when he solves them, something weird falls out. The equations predict waves. Waves of oscillating electric and magnetic fields traveling through space at a specific speed. Maxwell calculates that speed. It's the speed of light. He realizes light itself must be an electromagnetic wave. But here's the thing. His equations also predict these waves can exist at any frequency. Not just visible light, radio waves, microwaves, X-rays. None of these had been discovered. Maxwell's math demanded they exist. 20 years later, Heinrich Hertz builds an apparatus and finds radio waves. Exactly where Maxwell's equations said they'd be. Now you use them every day. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, your phone signal. All predicted by math before anyone detected them. Einstein, 1915. His field equations describe how mass curves space-time. The math predicts that enough mass in a small enough space creates a region nothing can escape, a black hole. Pure mathematical consequence. Nobody had ever seen one. Many thought they couldn't exist. We photograph a black hole, exactly as the math described a century earlier. Here's the pattern that should disturb you. Mathematicians invent structures for pure curiosity, no practical purpose, just playing with ideas. Decades pass, sometimes centuries. Then physicists discover those exact structures are how the universe actually works. This happens over and over. Imaginary numbers, invented as mathematical curiosities, turn out to be essential for quantum mechanics. Non-Euclidean geometry, developed as abstract play, turns out to describe curved space-time. The universe keeps saying yes to our invented mathematics. Why? There are only 2 possibilities here. Both of them are deeply strange. Math is invented. We made it up. It's a human construction, like language or music or chess. If that's true, then the universe's obedience to our inventions is a miracle. There's no reason for it. Our brains evolved to find fruit, avoid predators, and navigate social relationships on the African savanna. They did not evolve to understand quantum field theory or general relativity. Why would arbitrary constructs from monkey brains map perfectly onto the deep structure of reality? That's like inventing Elvish as a fantasy language and then discovering that aliens on the other side of the galaxy speak it fluently. It shouldn't happen, but it does. Math is discovered. Mathematical truths exist independently of humans. We don't invent theorems, we find them. Like explorers mapping a continent that was always there, 2 plus 2 equaled 4 before humans existed. It'll equal 4 after we're gone. The Pythagorean theorem was true before Pythagoras. He just stumbled upon it. But if this is right, then mathematical objects exist somewhere. Numbers, shapes, relationships, abstract structures, they're real. But where? How? In what sense does the number 7 exist? You can't touch it, you can't weigh it, you can't point to it in space. And yet it seems to have properties that are true regardless of what anyone thinks. I don't know which option is correct. Neither does anyone else, no matter how confidently they claim otherwise. But here's what I do know. The correspondence between mathematics and physics is too perfect to be accident. When I write an equation and it predicts something no human has ever observed, and then we build machines and find exactly that thing, I'm tapping into something real. Whether I invented it or discovered it, it works. So stop asking why math works. You won't get an answer. Start asking what it tells you about reality. Universe has structure, deep structure, not chaos, not randomness, pattern. And that pattern is expressible in simple mathematical relationships. The same inverse square law that describes how light dims with distance also describes gravity, electric forces, and sound intensity. One equation, dozens of phenomena across completely different domains. Nature repeats herself over and over, and mathematics is the language of that repetition. This isn't obvious, this isn't guaranteed. The universe could have been incomprehensible. Random noise with no patterns, or patterns so complex that no finite mind could grasp them. But it's not. The rules are simple enough that 3 pounds of wet tissue inside your skull can understand them. You can write down equations that govern stars billions of light years away, particles too small to see, processes that take longer than the age of the universe. And those equations work. That's either the biggest coincidence in existence, or reality is trying to tell you something. I can't tell you why the universe obeys mathematics. I can tell you that it does, ruthlessly, precisely, without exception that we've ever found. Next time you see an equation, don't think abstract symbols. Think, this is a window into how reality actually operates. Someone wrote these symbols down, and the universe said yes. That's not just math. That's a miracle hiding in plain sight. Not a supernatural miracle, something deeper. Evidence that beneath the chaos and complexity of the world, there's an elegant mathematical structure. And somehow, against all odds, you can understand it. That's not just beautiful. That's the deepest mystery in all of science. Not that we don't understand the universe, but that we can. If this made you think, really think, about something you thought you already understood, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Feynman Physics. We don't do easy answers here. We do real ones. I'll see you in the next one.